Hi there, PolishLynx here, and we continue with Everlasting Summer, and right now we are at the university, and I wonder where this is going. It was the last lesson of the hardest subject this term. Most students didn't like it, because of its difficulty and the hard to understand teacher, I suppose. But I found a kind of pleasure in dealing with tables, graphs and diagrams. Counting the figures by pieces, I arranged them in columns and lines in the right order, summing up, subtracting, dividing and multiplying and using them to get a precise picture of an event. No number could avoid my attentive gaze. All of them would be captured, calculated, analyzed. Each of them would get an index number and a place in their proper cell. After its arrival, every digit will be assigned a bank, work uniform and off-duty clothes and will be sent to perform its designated task. Some will be digging a trench from 9 to 5, some will march off to face the trends, and some will be trying to hit a linear regression and on the shooting range. What do you think about? Reluctantly I stopped writing against my classmate. Taking notes on the lecture, as you can see. Just great. Just read the workbook afterwards. I read the workbook as well. I'm always astonished by you. What's so astonishing? You're planning to gain a first-class diploma, aren't you? Never thought of it. Don't tell me you really find it interesting. I remembered that just a moment ago I'd imagined myself emblazoned on a banner borne aloft by a regiment of digits and couldn't help smiling. You won't even need all this stuff. Everything will be needed. At least for general development. The classmate grinned sarcastically. I bet you never read even a single book in your whole life. So what? He asked challengingly. Just stating a fact. And you are always somewhere up in the clouds. He was right about that. Although I'd regained part of my lost social skills, I often slipped out of touch with reality, dreaming of something else. You say it's like it's a bad thing. And there's nothing wrong with not reading books either. There is. Human beings can't have only material needs. I said philosophically, mocking him. Ah, you're such a downer, yeah. The lecture was approaching its end, and I began to plan out the rest of the day. Need to buy some groceries, and later finish a project and send it to the client, and then I got to write down notes. And then in the evening I can just read or watch something. Unless someone phones or writes to me. There are no urgent matters, so I can spare some time for my mates. 5 whole minutes to go. I look at my phone and realize that it's exactly a year after I returned from the Sovyonok pioneer camp. My soul felt warmer from such thoughts, and I smiled blissfully. It's not often anymore that I recall those events. Obviously, one can just forget something like that, those moments of something bizarre and extraordinary that are engraved in my memory forever. Normally, even the happiest moments fade and just reminiscences of them remain, nothing more, but the week spent in Sovyonok was different. I remembered everything in perfect detail, the terror of the first minutes after waking up in the bus, the first day, heart full of surprises, and amazing acquaintances, cheerful and carefree pranks with Uliana. Just take that trick with the ghost for instance. The best Soviet comedians would envy it. And the pioneers had such expressions. They were dying laughing. It sure would be nice to meet Uliana in real life. Well, she's not always perfect, she's hyperactive and she doesn't have any idea about good manners, but one doesn't meet such a sincere, carelessly cheerful and energetic person very often. Maybe she gave some of that energy to me. The bell rang, my classmate stood up, said his goodbyes and left. Wow. There's a bell in a university? Seriously? Really? Well, now I'm surprised. I start packing my exercise books and textbooks into my backpack when I suddenly heard someone's voice in front of me. Excuse me, is this the 34th lecture hall? There is a sign on the door. No, there's not. Girl's voice sounded offended. Someone must have removed it. So, is it the 34th? Yeah. At least I closed the backpack and raised my head, intending to stand up. The girl looked terribly familiar. Haven't we... Yeah, I thought the same. She looked very surprised. But I don't remember where I could have met you. Neither do I. What year are you in? First year. Oh, still pretty much green. The girl smiled. Everything is still ahead of me. As if I'm already past everything. And what about you? Fourth. So, is it difficult to study? For the first year, this. I knew it, she said in an upset manner. But it gets easier with time. It's always easier when you get used to it. Sometimes I'm too lazy to do things. Yeah, that also happens. Do you still have any stuff from the first year? If you share it, it would be easier for me to prepare for examinations. Obviously I had nothing, my first year was finished a long time ago. But I suddenly felt a strong desire to ask for her phone number, so I lied. Yeah, maybe. But I'll have to check. That's great. We exchanged our telephone numbers. My name is Semyon. What should I call you? Uliana. And then I realized who this girl reminded me of. Exactly, she's Uliana, just around 5 years older. For a moment I was lost for words. What? It's an ordinary name. That was Lenin's name, she said, pouting. No, just... Have you ever been to a pioneer camp? When I was a kid. Why are you asking? In the blink of an eye, all the events had happened in Sovyonok flashed in front of my eyes. So it wasn't a dream. Although, they were just summer camps, not pioneer ones, Uliana added. So you weren't wearing a uniform? The one with a red neckerchief? Of course not. Fashion police art. She laughed loudly. But why are you asking? I was about to tell her everything, but then realized that she would just consider me a psycho. After all, this girl was much older than the Uliana I remembered. Maybe she just looks like her. I had a dream, and I think I saw you there. A kind of déjà vu. Déjà what? It's when one sees something for the first time but believes that he has seen it before. Well, now that you mention it. Her face became serious. I think I've seen you somewhere as well. Definitely. Maybe it's that thing you said. An interesting coincidence, don't you think? I don't know. Anyway, I'll give you a call. See ya! She laughed and ran out of the room. Appearance, behavior, way of talking. She's definitely that exact Uliana. So, does that mean the dream is coming true? I can't help but enjoy it. And above all, I will see this forever cheerful girl again for sure. Success! Attack on Pedobeer! Oh man. Well, we've got the happy ending. Happy end with, well, Uliana. So what now? What now? What now? Now we gonna go for the bad end. I think I will make a quick break now and I will actually connect 2 episodes in one. Well, not that, no, you know what I mean. Connect 2 parts into 1 episode. And yeah, that makes sense, I guess. We'll see. Bones cracking. Alright, so right now a quick break and we'll be back in a second. After a short break we are going here again. We gonna go with we have to go with that's all her fault. I pointed my finger to Liana. She looked at me strictly in turn. Nobody's accusing you of anything, said Slavia without... Alright, so it's the same dialogue then. But we are going for the bad end here. I'm not happy about doing this, but I have to. And we'll see where this will go. The good winds was, well, good, you can say. They've met each other and they were both adults. Yeah, I'm going to pack my stuff too. Oh, so you will not help her. She didn't reply, so I left the cabin. Well, it looks like my last mission in this camp is complete. Uliana's sentence was overturned after all. The only thing left for me is to leave this place and get ready for something new. I swept my eyes around the room as I entered the camp leader's cabin. Do I have anything to pack anyway? I stuffed my winter clothes in the bag and took a seat on the bed. I was haunted by an agonizing feeling of incompleteness, either déjà vu or a feeling that I forgot something, but still can't remember what it was exactly. When all is said and done, I have managed to find an answers here, and now I'll have to continue my quest elsewhere. Does it really matter how and why I came here if it's not possible to escape? And it seems that nothing's up to me anyway. Everything seemed simpler before. Sure, I had no major prospects, my perspectives were hardly mind-blowing, but at least everything was pretty much clear. Yet the week I've spent here raised more issues than my whole previous life. The clock struck 5 o'clock. I took the bag and walked quickly to the bus stop, worried they might leave without me. It appeared that the bus was already waiting there, as were all the pioneers. Everyone's here! began Olga Dmitrievna. You're leaving our camp today, and I'd like to tell you something important. She was a little bit nervous and desperately lost for words. I hope that you'll remember the time you spent here for a lifetime, and that you will retain only pleasant memories about Sovyonok. I also hope that you became at least a little better, managed to learn something, and found new friends. Just come back next year. The camp leader turned around. It seemed that she was trying to hold back her tears. I didn't expect her to get so emotional, although her speech sounded like a complete nonsense, as usual. The pioneers slowly started to get on the bus. I ran an eye over the crowd looking for Uliana. Where's Uliana? She won't be going. The leader answered shortly. How? Why? She's grounded. But you said... She's at it again? What do you mean? Hey, get inside, or they will leave without you. Indeed, I was the last man standing outside. Wait a second. Move it! She nudged me onto the bus. I decided not to argue. Here at the end, I can't be held responsible for her forever. Here we go again. If she's going to be so stubborn, then it's up to her to face the consequences. What the fuck? I took the last seat. There was no partner for me, which I was fine with at that moment. What is going on? However, soon enough, Alisa moved to sit next to me. Where's Uliana? Stayed. Why? Grounded. I gave one-word replies, showing no interest in conversation. Why? Do know. And what? You haven't even tried to find out? Is it worth staying back for? You should. For what? If you want, you can stay. We haven't gone far. Yeah. She said calmly and went off to her place. Slav and Zenia were sitting in front seats and talking with enthusiasm about something. Lena, Miko, Shurik, Electronic were sitting closer to me and playing cards. Alisa and some other girl were looking through a magazine. Probably I was the only one who had nothing much to do. I caught myself thinking that I still felt a bit guilty about what happened to Uliana. But what could I do? If I'd stayed together with her, I would have probably missed my only chance to leave. So what's bad about that? And my position playing such games could prove fatal. And apart from that, enough is enough. Yet still I couldn't stop thinking about her. But I'm at fault that I've acted coldly, done a bad thing. That anyone in my shoes would have. But why? Anyway, who is she to me that I need to take risk for her sake? It was even harder to answer this question. During the week I spent here, I got to know her and others quite well. In the end, I felt responsible for Uliana in some way. But what's the point of thinking about it now? I'm leaving this pioneer camp. I'm heading into the unknown. Starting from this moment, I have to make all my decisions based on the assumption that this world is alien to me and most probably hostile. And I have no one to rely on. Although thinking about it, such state of affairs isn't too new for me. I was always alone in the past. Sovyonok has been left far behind me. Night has fallen in this strange world. It was so dark that it seemed the bus was floating across a bluish-black ocean, and only sometimes would gloomy forests and fields reaching to the horizon rise like waves from its surface. Anyway, the surroundings were the least of my concerns now. I was knee-deep in my reflection. It feels to me like I've left some unfinished business back at the camp. Oh really? You don't say so. Even though I can't go back there now. Bad things, good things, everything will be forgotten soon, leaving only the fact of my appearance here, the end of my old life and the beginning of the new one. Practically speaking, it's nothing fancy, just an 80s pioneer camp that I was being beamed to from my own time. In any case, I'd rather worry about what's waiting for me at that town we're heading for. After all, I've got nowhere to return to. I have no home, no money, no friends or relatives. All these pioneers that I'll part ways with in a few hours. I won't see any of them ever again. And then, I don't think that they will remember me in a couple of years. It's not a big deal for them. To them, I'm not the time traveler, but a common boy, their peer. The road seemed endless. Most of the pioneers were long asleep, yet I was still fighting the urge to take a nap. It's always better to enter the unknown while remaining awake. For the unknown always has an edge in this battle, the flow of time that it is able to control as it sees fit. You wait a minute, an hour, but nothing happens. Your nerves, already strung out to their limits, finally surrender to the stress and you just fall asleep. I don't know if I should end this here. Let's continue. It felt like I hadn't slept at all. Oh, we can skip this. Good. So, what's going to happen here? It makes the fact that she had to stay behind even sadder. Oh, alright. Of course, it's just a dream, a figment of my imagination. Although you still can worry about the book and film characters. One laughs and cries with them and feels their pain. Same thing for me. It seems that if I had acted differently, this story would have had an even more joyful happy end. However, I'm sure that Uliana is happy in that world. I just can't imagine her being upset for longer than 5 minutes. Her optimism will help her to find a way, even in the most difficult situations. I wonder what she will look like when she grows up. The bell rang. My classmate stood up and looked at me keenly. Hey, see ya! Can I creep notes from you later? If you had been writing down your own during the lecture, you wouldn't need any. So can I? Oh, fine. Cheers! He smiled and left the lecture hall. Slowly I packed all my exercise books and textbooks up into my backpack and looked around the empty hall. For a moment I could almost smell the knowledge in the air, like sea salt in the air on the deck of a ship. Thousands and thousands of students came here to study, to learn something new, or to forget something they used to know. Some slept through the lectures, some wrote them down attentively, just like me, but nobody was completely indifferent. Those who didn't care stayed home, put the curtains across the windows and fixed their eyes on the monitor. I sighed reluctantly and left the lecture hall with the firm intention of not wasting this day. But this day was already wasted. Because of the bad end, you were not allowed to meet Uliana again. Alright, that was it. So Slavia's ending done, Lena's ending, Alisa's ending, and Uliana's ending. So for endings. So far not so bad. I must think what I will continue next with. because, well, we can continue with the girls, but there's also another option to actually find out what exactly was the reason that he moved back in time, and you know, maybe it is possible for him to find the answer for that. But I don't know what to choose actually. Well, we'll see shortly, and by shortly you will see actually in the next episode. I need to think about it a little bit. Alright, hope you enjoyed Uliana's Road, and see you in the next video. Bye!